Welcome to CEO 360 podcast Mother's Day special. Today, we have a very special guest with us. She's a multi-talented artist who has dazzled us with her acting, dancing, choreographing, and fitness skills. She has worked in various mediums, genres, and languages, and has won the hearts of viewers with her versatile and grateful performances. She is best known for her roles as Meru Nisa in the historical drama Siyasat, Indira Gandhi in the series Rocket Boys, and of course, the Jyoti, the mother of Ranbir Kapoor's character in the blockbuster movie Animal. Congratulations for being part of the movie Animal and welcome on our show. And
thank you
for
so
being
much.
Here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
How are you doing today, Charu?
I mean, today's been an exceptionally long day, even though it was a Sunday. We've just pulled through a tough week. I think my husband and I have just had a lot of work. And so today was just like a catch-up day with both of us and catching up on everything, catching up on sleep, catching up on, what's going on in the house, what needs, the menu planning, all of that. So yeah, today's been busy in that sense.
Talking about the home, where are you currently based?
I live in New Delhi.
Okay.
And I think that surprises people because most of my work seems to be what Bombay-based actors. Yeah. Yes. But I do travel for work. So wherever that takes me, wherever the shoot locations are, I do travel for work. But I live in New Delhi.
Okay. That's good to know. And how often do you travel between Mumbai and New Delhi?
My God, very often. I think, quite. I mean, between 4 to 6 months in a year, perhaps. Yeah, if just all accumulated. Yeah, but over, it's like divided. The time is divided. So, I do try and get some time, home with the boys, or I call them to Bombay. So one of the two. So we do try and stay together as much as possible.
But which place do you prefer living? Is it New Delhi or Mumbai? Or where do you feel at home, let's say?
It's always been Delhi. I mean, Delhi has my heart. Girl, right? Yeah, I am a Delhi girl. I'm a Delhi girl through and through. And I really love this city, and I feel terrible because Delhi used to be so beautiful. And, I remember growing up in a Delhi where the air was crisp and winters really meant something more than just the dreaded pollution that they mean now. And just the rainy season was spectacular and summers were hot but amazing, and in the activities that we had as children for summer vacations. So but despite it all, despite the traffic and the aggressive behavior of Delhiites and everything else that I hear, I really, really do love this city. I've grown up here. School, college, life, family, everything is here. Delhi has my heart.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Delhi is good, let's say. I'm being from Delhi as well.
Yes.
Do you have any plans for Mother's Day? Do you usually celebrate it, or is there any way for... because I am presuming that there are some activities focused in the schools these days around Mother's Days and things like this.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, it's quite big. I mean, I know. For years now, I have been getting Mother's Day bouquet of flowers across to my mother and my mother-in-law and my grandmother till last year. Okay. We recently lost her. So, and I also, when Agastya was a baby, I would buy a bouquet for myself. But now I make him do it.
It's a little bit of pampering, let's say.
Just some flowers. The flowers are nice. Maybe a card. Yeah. Handmade.
You said in the beginning that you plan a week for the meals and menus. Do you prepare food for the whole week, or how does you plan the meal? It's interesting to know.
Well, I don't cook much, actually. Okay. It's just... I wish I knew how to, but I learned cooking very late in my life and I'm pretty bad in the kitchen. I try and be good, and sometimes by fluke अच्छा बन जाता है, but mostly so very, very long ago I have outsourced that to a lady who cooks very nicely. So, but I do sit with her and I do kind of plan it out like nutritionally, just making sure that all of us are getting the proteins and the varieties of vegetables and fruits into our menu. Yeah, so that much I do. Just about.
That's good. You are a multi-talented human being. We would like to know who in real is Charu Shankar, an actor, dancer, fitness teacher, or well-being trainer, fitness trainer. Who is Charu Shankar? Where is your therapeutic interests are, let's say?
I don't know. I've never been able to define this for myself. You see, this has been a lifelong struggle. A lifelong struggle, which,
so our team is doing good research on questions.
Yeah, that's true. It has always been a lifelong struggle. When I was in school, I was pretty good in my padhai, and so all my teachers were always encouraging me, you could do something academic. And then perhaps I could, and even in college, for a while I dabbled with the idea, maybe I could be a professor. And then I would have loved that. I love teaching. I do. I really love researching and teaching and preparing papers and reading papers. I love it. And I guess in a way that kind of did get fulfilled because I got a chance to teach dance and I got a chance to teach theatre, and I still do that as much as I can. Whenever I get the opportunity, if anyone tells me, would you take this workshop or would you take this set of classes, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, I love it. I was pretty good with picking up dance, and so I thought, chalo, let's try this professionally. And then I was good at theatre, and I was like, chalo, let's try this professionally. And I was good with my writing and stuff. And so everything, I just gave everything a chance because it was just a lifelong struggle to choose. But I think that's just the problem with me, because Rahul, like if you give me a menu card and you say, what do you want for dinner? I cannot choose. I just can't, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, everything looks delicious. So I have major FOMO when it comes to choices. I just have a huge fear of missing out. And so I'm like, let's just dig in my heels and do it all. That to me is easier than choosing one.
I can assure you on that you are not the only one, because being an engineer in India, it's like after you finish your engineering, then most of the people discover that what they want to do in their life. So
yeah,
I think it's absolutely fine.
Okay, good. But I think also it's quite nice, right, to have a sort of a lifelong journey of just discovery, because then everything is brand new and fresh and exciting all the time. Yeah. So nothing gets stale.
So is it the learning which keeps you motivating, or it's that curiosity to find something more in a respective field? What is it that takes you that builds a courage in yourself to walk with the path, walk on an unknown path, let's say, and try it? There is always a risk. I think
it's both. It's definitely curiosity of where this would lead me, and like I said, long ago I gave up choosing. So I just it's kind of like if an opportunity comes, you just say yes. And I've come to realize that if it was not meant to be, it won't be. It'll go away on its own. Something will happen. So I have in my mind made my peace with this long ago. So I just if anything, any opportunity, anything at all comes, I just say yes. Even if it's as difficult as a friend of mine reached out to me 2 years ago. She runs an NGO for hearing impaired children, small children who are all in various stages of being deaf. And she approached me and she said, it was some anniversary of theirs, and they wanted to do a special. And she said, I have this vision that I think these children can dance. So will you come and teach them? And can we create a performance that is totally different, and that's it's beautiful and world class and touching and everything. And I was like, I don't know sign language. And she's like, that's okay. There'll be other teachers, they can help you. But would you lead this? And, it'll be, like something like this was like entirely uniquely challenging, like, and I was so nervous, Rahul. And I went in there and I said, fear of missing out, right? Like I had to do it. I had to try. So I went in there. I was fully nervous and I was fully prepared to fail. I was like, okay, how do you teach dance to a group of children who are not listening to the music? They don't hear it. So how do you do it? We had to think of all these ways, and eventually we did do the performance. It's a beautiful, beautiful performance, and it came out well. And I think if I look back in my career, I think that's definitely one of the most difficult and challenging things that I have had to do, and also the most rewarding, obviously.
That's interesting to know. So stay hungry and stay foolish, right? in that way.
And just say yes. Just say yes. If it's not meant to be, it won't be. Believe in that. The universe. I think that the universe really does have its own beautiful plan. So, but
that's
do the work.
To hear.
Do the work. Do the work for sure. I mean, don't just be lazy. Do the work. Yeah. But just a little more belief, I think.
What does your morning routine looks like? Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I don't know. I think when I was studying, in the higher classes, in higher grades of school, and when I was studying in college, especially when I was doing my MA and BA, I was definitely a night owl, because I would find the late hours of the night, was when my mind was really sort of active and absorbing things. And I've also found that very creative ideas come to me sometimes in the middle of the night, including like choreographies. Like when I was learning to be a dancer, the entire choreographies, it's just like, I would just receive them, like I could see them. And then if I didn't get up at that moment and actually physically like do it, I would forget. So I've found that night hours for me do tend to be very productive. But recently, like ever since I started on my entire fitness journey, I have discovered that there's definitely great gains in being able to utilize the early hours of the morning as well. Okay. And so I do kind of recognize the benefit of both, and I try to be an early morning person just because it fits in well with the routine of my family now, because Agastya gets up and goes to school, and I like to be there for that whenever I'm in Delhi. And then I just, instead of coming home and taking a nap, which I also am very guilty of very often, I sometimes just jump into the bus and then head off to the gym and then start my day from there. So I am trying very, very hard to be more of a morning person now.
That's good to know. Would you like to share any episode from Delhi University days which nobody knows?
There's so many.
Like
Delhi University days
kind of thing.
So fun. They were. It was brilliant. There's this one. There's this one really fun incident. Obviously, something I would never attempt ever again. And I do not recommend anyone should do it. And we were pretty, stupid to have attempted this. But so what happened was that, of course, university is a great theatre space, and all of us, there was a group of us who was very, very fond of the dramatic arts. And there was a play that had come to Delhi from the UK. And I still remember it was Medea. And we really wanted to watch it. And so we, badi mushkil se, we got passes, and it was sold out, and it was very difficult. And that day, there were 6 of us. And like a friend of mine who was a boy, and the rest of us, 5 of us, were girls. And all of us were in one car, and we went down to this auditorium, which I will not name, and we arrived late.
Okay.
And they had started the show and they had shut the doors and they were like, no late entry. And we were like, no, we can't miss this. We have, it's our only opportunity to watch this play. And we were very upset and we sat outside. And then finally, I don't know who came up with this idea, but someone said, let's sneak into the hall.
Oh, wow.
And so we went scouting around the auditorium and we did discover one window. थोड़ा ऊपर जाके था. And so, my friend was very athletic. And so she just sort of scampered up and, pulled herself in through the window. And she said, it's okay. It's a bathroom. It's empty. And let's all just get in. And then we can just pretend we were in the bathroom and waltz into the hall and no one would be the wiser. What a dumb idea. But to us, at that time, it was like, wow, this is a great plan. We
did it.
And so one by one, we scampered through this little bathroom, Roshandan. Oh. And, and then one of the friends had vertigo and she was just like at one point just sitting on that window with one leg on this side and one leg on the other side and saying, I can't do this, I'm feeling dizzy. We were just like, just get down because, you cannot stay like... And so, it was very tough. Finally, my friend who was a guy was left behind. And so we were all on the other side and we were like, give us your hand, we'll pull you up. So we're trying to pull him through the window. And then this lonely guard just sort of wanders into this scene and discovers this guy trying to climb into a window. And what we didn't realize was that it was not just a bathroom, it was a girl's bathroom. So the guard thinks this guy is a pervert who's trying to climb into the girl's bathroom. So he's like, starts like beating him up and, my friend is hanging and he's like, nahi. And the guard is telling him, तुम कितने गंदे आदमी हो, तुम लड़कियों के बाथरूम में घुस रहे हो, you sick guy. And he's telling him, मैं ये मेरी intention नहीं है, मुझे सिर्फ नाटक देखना है. And the guard did not buy the story. Anyway, so of course he got caught, and so the rest of us got caught, and the person who was running the auditorium was so upset with us, and he was like, we're going to report you to your various colleges and we're going to make sure you never enter the space again. And we were all standing there with our heads hanging. We did venture to ask, but can we watch the play? And he was like, absolutely not, get out. And so we left. We never got to see the play, but we had the adventure of our lives.
Well, that's good. Does Agastya knows about all these, what her mommy
does? He does not. But now he's going to watch your podcast and then he's going to know everything and be like, Mommy? Oh.
You have a background of staying connected to creative industry and then you got married in architect's family and that's how we know each other.
Yes.
What kind of similarities do you think creative people share in their day-to-day thinking?
That's a really good question. So Professor Anil Lal was my father-in-law and my mom-in-law is Indira Lal, she writes beautifully and they were both... I lived with them, for 10 years and in this beautiful place that Papa built. And his office used to be in the same Anandpur Building Center. Yeah. And so Papa had his office in the same compound. And so very often, if I was in Delhi, I would be eating alone because everyone was at work. And so I would go down and have lunch with him and the architects over there. And so it was really nice to be in an environment where everyone was always talking about the projects they were doing and the design they were doing. And my father-in-law had a very strong belief that the kind of space that we built really impacts the mind of whoever's inhabiting it. And he was designing a school at that time. And that's what he kept talking about. He's like, how can we build a space that would be inspiring for young children? How can we build a space that, that the children would enjoy coming to and would imbibe something just from being in that room. And then they had all kinds of ideas, but it was very interesting for me to think of, we do have a concept of how do we use space in dance and how do we use space in theater. And I had studied that, but I had not studied it from this point of view, from, an architect's point of view. And it was really nice. It was really nice. And they were so encouraging. They were, both of them were always so encouraging of everything that I did. They watched every single show. They watched every episode, every film. And they are so supportive of the work that I do.
Do you still visit Anandpur Building Center often? Or?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I still have some memories there, and they are the best ones of my life, let's say. So we have ended our first segment. We are beginning with the second segment, where we will talk about wellness and challenges. According to the World Happiness Report 2023, India scored 4.04 out of 10 on Happiness Index, ranking 126th among 146 countries. You have been a part of the well-being department of a maternity hospital, where you designed and launched various classes and workshops for new mothers. What inspired you to take up this initiative, and what impact did it have on health and happiness of the mothers and their babies?
How sad that we're so far down in that ranking list. And I really hope that the situation in our country can improve. I think it should improve. And I don't know how they are calculating happiness. Happiness is so many things. Happiness is also just a decision, like I think in India, like so many of us, so many people you see around. I'm not just talking about like say people like the ladies who work in our house, who come from a very different social background, who come from a very different kind of family setting. But they're choosing, to laugh and, and smile through their day. And so I think that, I think happiness very often is also just a choice that we make and strive towards it. It requires work. You need to work at building something for yourself that does give you that joy and happiness. And that's actually what I incorporated in the programs that I was designing programs that would help young urban mothers. I'm still doing that work, and we're trying to build it up and scale it up and have it reach more and more people. And the idea behind any program is that you make that choice. You make that choice, and you say, okay, I'm sick of just lying around, and I want to get up and do something. And you do. You get up and you do something, and you make that change. And then there is happiness to be found there somewhere, and then you have to choose that. So, for example, let me see if I can explain this. I have a client. She is about 7 weeks postpartum, and this is her second baby. And she came to us when she was 4 weeks postpartum, which is quite early, but she was given clearance by her doctor, and she just wanted to do something. And she told me that with her first pregnancy, she said after the baby arrived, I very quickly was slipping into a very difficult, dark space. And I was not happy with anything. And so this time around when I got pregnant, I thought I will never go down that road again. I'm not going to take like 1 year to come back to being myself. I'm going to start as early as possible. And she said, when I started to feel like that again, I just immediately decided I must get out and do something. And I heard about these classes, and I've come here, and I'm also doing therapy. But I must tell you, doing classes here, just the act of physically moving and the act of physically getting stronger and more confident, and just, suddenly it's become easier for me to get on and off the floor, and I can play with my toddler, and I can hold both children because now I'm strong enough. So just all of these things are actually, I think that they're better than therapy. I am doing the therapy, but I feel like this is helping me more. So, but she took that choice. She made the choice to seek it out, and she sought it, and she found it. So I want people to, you look out there and you will find something. You will find something. Happiness is a choice.
Can you explain a bit more about postpartum, and what are the steps if someone has to take coming out of that? How do I phrase it? That situation or that mindset? I don't know how to phrase it really. I'm confused here.
Well, postpartum refers to the phase where we won't say postpartum. Let's say postnatal. Postnatal refers to the phase of a woman's life where the baby has been born. She's now no longer pregnant. She's a young mother, and or the baby is just born. And there are many things that are happening. So first is, of course, the dance of the hormones. So suddenly all the hormones that were flooding your system to keep you pregnant, now that you're not pregnant, those hormones just disappear, leaving a large vacuum in your body. So all those beautiful pregnancy hormones are gone. And now the new set of hormones that, make you a mother, that encourage breastfeeding, that encourage that maternal feeling, and, all of that start to start to grow, and sometimes there's a bit of an imbalance. So the hormones, and so that's the dance of the hormones, and then there's the exhaustion. Mothers just never get a chance to recover from the effort of giving birth. So whether you've given birth naturally or you've gone through a C-section, which is, we forget, a major abdominal surgery. Most people after having major abdominal surgery would be given like a week to recover in the hospital of rest. Do mothers get to rest? No. They are brought the baby and they have to learn breastfeeding, and they have to 2 days later, the hospital is like, see ya, bye-bye, go home. So 3 days later, whatever. So they never get a chance. Mothers just don't get a chance to catch up on rest, to fully really focus on recovery. So there is that exhaustion. There is the aspect of, the fact that they've just not been given a chance to recover. There is the sleeplessness because, the babies are not born with circadian rhythm. They are just like, now I'm hungry, now I'm crappy, now I'm hungry, now. So it's like an endless cycle of that. And till they get some semblance of circadian rhythm, you're just up with them all the time. So, and then there is the change. Your entire life changes. Everything that was a focus for you before is no longer important even. Other things are much, much, much more important. And you're dealing with this entirely new you. You're dealing with this entirely new situation. Everything has changed. And I think dealing with change is the aspect where we come in as the support for postnatal women. We start with this, and then we see what it is that they require, and then of course there are various specialists for various things. But the point that the conversation starter for me is your life is going to change, and how shall we deal with this change? So that's where I come in.
Do you want to tell our audience the name of the service, or how to reach out if someone wants to reach out?
we're still building our brand, and we're still sort of trying to get things up and running. There's been a whole lot of I had to stop
building
for
work.
A few years. I had to stop for a few years. The place I was working at, things didn't work out there, and I was doing it on my own for a while. Then Bollywood sort of just took over. So I've just recently started, but I am working with a physiotherapy center called Pro Health Asia, and we're bringing some wonderful maternity programs to life. So it's good. It's good to have a partner with specialized physiotherapists, because movement is it's what I do. It's what we do. So because I'm a pre and postnatal fitness expert, and so I totally believe that movement is medicine. It really is.
You have been part of the industry for almost 2 decades for now, like from that NDTV morning shows and then metro shoots at work. And have seen many changes in trends throughout. What was the biggest change you have felt that industry has come up with, and how do you keep yourself updated and relevant in the dynamic world of entertainment?
Oh, that's a very long question. So let's start with the first part of the question, which is what is the big change that I've seen? I think the biggest change that I've seen has been the advent of OTT and what it has brought to the table for writers, for actors. It's suddenly made real stories relevant and watchable. And the content has entirely changed. Though there is, of course, the traditional form of film still on. And may that never die, because, that has its own relevance, and it has its own sort of wow factor. But yes, OTT really has sort of brought in this movement of real content and real stories and real looking people and all of that, and real heroes, and it's just beautiful stories that are coming out in this lovely nuanced way, where there are 100 characters populating the canvas of a story, and they all have their own things going on, and they're all relevant in their own way. It's not just about this one hero and then everyone's sort of this one's his love interest and that one's his enemy and that one's his, so it's more than that. They're very grey characters. There's a lot of depth and a lot of, it's interesting. So I think that has been the biggest change. How does...
Yeah, please continue.
How does one keep themselves relevant? Yeah, that's
because it's dynamically changing very fast. No,
it is. But just go with the flow. I mean, the flow will teach you. You'll get a project that is entirely different from anything you've ever done, and you will learn along the way. And as actors, actually, we're very, very supported. There's the director that has their vision, and the DOP who has the visual vision, and there's the music that supports us, and other actors who boost us up. And so it's very you learn so much from each other all the time. There's so much learning. So just keep learning and just go with the flow and keep learning. Keep yourself dynamic. I'm a big fan of attending workshops and just doing things like classes and any kind of classes. Nothing, just keep learning. Just keep alive and keep it all going.
So our next segment is Real Gupshup, where we talk about real and real life.
Okay.
Let's say. So real and real life is very different, and everyone sees the great...
Yes, thank God.
And everyone sees the great grand moments. Tell us some of the challenges you have faced to get the right shot and how intense it could be.
I don't know if people really realize how much time, energy, effort, and how many people are actually involved in every single second that they are watching on the screen. On a good day, we're able to shoot 8 to 10 script pages in a day, right? And that's on a good day. So it takes a lot. So I think the biggest challenge. Should I talk about specific challenges in various, or should I talk about
which you like to share?
Okay, so I did a show called The Empire, and this was about it was the story of it's going to be a series, and it's the story of the 4 Mughal emperors who set the Mughal Empire in medieval India, and so this is the story of Babur, and there is a scene in which I am drowning, and Babur, comes and rescues me. And I have never shot an underwater sequence before this show, so I really was not prepared for what goes into it. So they take you to a pool, and they take you to the deepest end of the pool, and the shooting is actually happening like some 12 to 15 feet underwater. So you get, and you're the actor, so you have to be dressed in costume, and so you're wearing the wetsuit under your costume if you can. And my costume thankfully was such that I could, so I was wearing the wetsuit underneath, and then I had this whole taam-jam of like a Mughal princess, on top of that, and including like hair, everything. And then you have a scuba diving buddy who basically the oxygen is strapped onto them, and they have 2 ports to the oxygen, one for themselves and one for you. And so they did this training with us, and it was absolutely incredible. So first of all, you have to get used to like going down to that level of water, because the pressure increases. Yeah. So you have to like slowly go down and keep popping your ears and keep equalizing the pressure and all that. And then once you're down there, you cannot come back up, because that would, destroy your mind or your eardrums or whatever. So you have to stay there and finish all the shots that need to be taken. So there's an entire underwater camera team that's down there with you. So I'm down here dressed in this paraphernalia, and I'm, so what they do is, you take a deep breath, and then you take off your oxygen and give it to your buddy, who swims away. Away from the the camera, the camera can see. And then you hold your breath, and then they immediately say action. And until you can hold your breath and you can do whatever acting you have to do, like I'm drowning, and then when you're out of oxygen, you give them a quick sign or whatever, and then your buddy swims back and gives you the oxygen, and then you can breathe again. It was so incredibly hard, and we did this. I had various shots. There was a close-up and a mid-shot, and then from this angle and that angle, and 2 shot, and very far away shot. I spent like the entire day 15 feet underwater, because I couldn't keep coming back up. And it was like by the end of it, I thought, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So, they were very sweet, and they got a body double to do the very far away shots and all. But it was definitely one of the most challenging things I've done so far. The drowning scene in The Empire. It was really tough. Really, really tough.
Wow.
I don't know how they shoot movies like Aquaman and all that. They're just underwater for months. So I really have like great respect.
But they take a lot of time to develop, I believe, right?
But this is essentially the process. You don't have actors who are like scuba diving dressed, they are holding their breath and acting. It's really tough. Definitely, that was very challenging. Very challenging. Physically, in every way.
Yeah. Was it your first time experience in scuba diving, or you?
No, I've done scuba diving before.
Okay.
I have. We've been out in the open sea and all of that. Okay. It wasn't my first scuba diving experience. Okay. It was my first scuba diving experience without gear and without oxygen.
Oh my God.
You have somebody else who's wearing your gear, and they just come and they just put that mouthpiece, in your mouth, and then you have to suddenly, because your mouth is full of water by the end of it, so you have to, there's this whole technique they teach you of like throwing it out, and then so that you're otherwise you would inhale that water. Yeah. So it's really tough, and it was and then to do it in that frame of mind and to actually get those shots. It was hectic.
Okay.
Very challenging.
So coming on to our next question, it's like revealing some of the gossips, right? How was your experience working with the animal cast? Tell us categorically, one by one, about beginning with the director, let's say Sandeep. I heard Sandeep was very supportive in all the production, right? Very, very, very. He's extremely supportive. He had a very clear, Sandeep I found was very clear about what he wanted, like from the first
the first time I met him, he had a very clear idea of his story and a very clear idea of who he wanted. And I don't know what work of mine he had seen, but when he called me, he was already quite sure that I could play this part. Except when I met him, he looked at me and he said, maybe not. You're perfect for like the first part of the film where Ranbir is a little boy, and I think you do great there. But then what do we do when that little boy grows up and becomes Ranbir? How are we going to achieve this? And I had already shot for Rocket Boys at that time, and I had some pictures of my phone of myself as Mrs. Gandhi, and so I said, well, I age beautifully, and look at this. And he was like, "That's you." He was so shocked, and he just couldn't believe it. He's like, "How did they achieve this?" And like, what have they done? And here I was thinking, would I have to get two actresses? Like, you can do the first part of the film and we'll have to get someone else to do the second part of the film. But, this is interesting. And so, and then I think he met many, many people after that for the same role. But of course, finally, many months later after this meeting, when I got a call and they said, you're finalized for the role. And Sandeep very sweetly called me and he said, thank you so much for saying yes. I know this is something that's going to be a bit difficult and challenging for you, but we will achieve it. I have full faith. And I met so many people for this role. I never forgot how different you looked sitting across the table from what I was looking at on the phone. And that's why I'm 100% sure that we can achieve this. And I thought that was very, it's great, when a director sees something it's really good that way.
And
he was excellent. Very, very open, and I had so many ideas. Like when we went on the sets, also, many times I used to be like, "Oh, but why is she saying this?" Or like, "Can this be said another way?" And he's very open, to like, "Okay, how would you, what do you think?" And okay, let's shoot that variation. Let's shoot that. So he's very open about everything.
So you were improvising like when you were going on with the shoot, or it was already scripted very well, and then. It was it was scripted, but if so we always shot the scripted version, but if we felt that perhaps we could also do it like this, that would also be allowed and shot as a variation to the scene. Oh, that's nice. And some of the gossips for Anil Kapoor, Ranbir Kapoor, Rashmika and Bobby Deol.
They're adorable. All of them are just absolutely like, I was so lucky. I had like the best star cast with this film. They were just so amazing. So the first time you walked onto the set, of course, I was a bit nervous, and starstruck, mostly starstruck. And, but they were just so cool. Like, I walked in there and we were shooting the family scenes. So everybody was there. And Ranbir just walked up and he's like, "Hi, I'm Ranbir." And I was like, "I know." But just really sweet. And then Anil Kapoor came and he's like, "Hi, I'm Anil." And I was like, And we'd actually met before, but I was not sure if he would remember, because many, 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 many years ago, I was supposed to do a project with him. And that project, never quite worked out. But before that project got canned for me, I had actually gotten to do some work with him. So we had sort of done many workshops and shot a couple of scenes and all together. But that was so many years ago, and I was just not at all prepared when he looked at me and he said, "Oh my God, it's you. We were supposed to do that show together. And here you are, and you're, oh my God, we're playing this, but this is so funny." And then he turns around and tells Sandeep, "Hey, Sandeep, did you know this? Did you know that we were supposed?" And Sandeep's like, "I had no idea." But yeah, because even in that show, actually, I was cast to be his wife, and so we made this joke. We were like, like the universe just wanted this to happen. It was I was meant to play a wife in one film. So he laughed about it, and then after that, all ice was broken, and then then after that, we were just very pally, very, very, very good vibes on the set with everybody.
That's good.
Yeah. Rashmika is absolutely a darling. She's my total favorite. She and I we just got along, like, I think from the first day, because there were so many scenes in which, you know, there's crazy stuff happening in Animal, right? Like, it's like bizarre, crazy, beyond imagination. Like, you know, like the level of madness just keeps increasing in the Animal character, right? And Ranveer's character, it's like just bizarre, like what's good. So there was a lot of scenes where Rashmika and I are we're just there, you know, we're watching and we're watching this character sort of devolve, and we really want to be there for him, you know, because the whole idea was that, you know, women loved, you know, these were two women who, you know, in their own way were in love with difficult men, you know, and so how to play that. And how to very often just play that even when you're just standing and watching and making that relevant. So that in itself was our challenge together. And so we had a lot of time to really, you know, to really think about this and to really bond and we had a lot of fun together. Just many memorable conversations with Rashmika. Yeah. Bobby, unfortunately, I never had a chance to work with because his scenes were all very different, and not with me. But we did meet at the premiere and spoke extensively about extensively about work and about. He had some very interesting things to say about my character, so that was lovely to hear.
So all good things, right?
Of course, absolutely. I mean, there was such a huge backlash when the film released.
Yeah. And
even within that backlash, you know, it's important to remember that it was made with the best intentions, and it was made with like it is a story that we're telling. You know, we're not portraying anything else except for a story, and it was made with the best intentions.
Yeah. Was there any learning from Animal movie as an actor which you are carrying with you for your journey?
Yeah, lots. I mean, I learned so much just by watching these guys work. They're phenomenal. Like Ranveer, and in all the months and months that we worked together, I've never seen him miss a line, not even once. Like he's a very verbose character, you know, in Animal. Ranveer's character is always talking and has these crazy ideas and crazy justifications for why he's doing what he's doing, and his family is always telling him, "Ki, you know, ye kya kar rahe ho? You know, like this is not right, this is wrong." But he has his own justification, so he's perpetually like giving his own justifications. Very verbose character. Okay. But Ranveer has never missed a line. I've never known him to like forget a line or get something wrong, or, you know, retake is happening because Ranveer's forgotten. Nothing. He was so on point. Like, I don't know when he got the time to like memorize pages and pages and pages and pages. So just the discipline of him, like what he brought on the set was amazing. So that's definitely like, you know, learning. Not that I miss my lines, but, you know, like just to see him do it at that level was, you know, very, very, very impressive. And AK is so fit. He's so like particular about his fitness. Like if we had a call time, everybody has to report on set at 5 a.m. AK would be in the gym at 4, you know, working out, like, you know, getting his daily workout. Wow. And while I'm snoring, you know, like we're all trying to get in that extra 5 minutes of sleep, and he's working out. He's amazing, you know, like he would not miss a single day of workout. He was so clear about, you know, he doesn't even like sit around in regular chairs. He has this special ergonomic stool which just goes with him everywhere. So when the rest of us are like koi plastic ki chair le aao, and we're sitting with an umbrella trying to save ourselves from the sun. AK is like this special ergonomical stool is rolled in, and he's like sitting with his back straight and, correct posture and everything. And we're like, wow, hum aise pair upar karke, like just lounging. And he's sitting like, so yeah, I thought that was just the incredible amount of attention that he gives to the respect that he has for, the body that he wants to keep, because he wants to achieve so much more. He's just endlessly ambitious, and I thought that was really, really, really great.
That was our end of segment 3. Coming on to our last segment, which is the real tips.
Oh, okay.
This podcast is for Mother's Day special. You need to tell us morning fitness routine for all mothers who juggle between work and home. In general, if you can advise.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, my tip number 1 would be please find something that you enjoy. Never sign up for any fitness class or any kind of fitness program that you do not intrinsically enjoy. So whether it's signing up for a dance class, that's fine. It has to be something that you look forward to, and not something that you're sort of dragging yourself to, because it's not going to be sustainable in the end. In the end, what you need is something that you're going to just
longevity
yeah. Sustainability is the key. So you have to find something you enjoy.
What is your favorite cuisine? I know you like to eat food. And which restaurant is your favorite? One in New Delhi and another in Mumbai.
I love food. I love eating. My favorite cuisine is Chinese.
Okay. like Indian Chinese, or it's like pure Chinese, like authentic Chinese?
Indian Chinese is also nice, but even authentic Chinese is delicious. Like basically like Spanish, even Thai, but Thai also is like okay, but Chinese is just yum. I think it comes from the fact that when we were growing up, like whenever Daddy said, "Oh, let's go out and have a meal," that would automatically mean we're having Chinese for dinner. So it just became in my mind, like something to look forward to, and something that always meant that, we were all going to go out. And I love like I have so many favorite places for momos, and so many favorite places for, that's Tibetan, but like momos and thukpa, and I love roadside food. I love bhel puri and sev puri, and I love chaat. I love all that. Yeah. So I think my favorite, of course, I would highly recommend for chaat. I would recommend Bengali Market. It was right behind my school, and it was my go-to place for sustenance when I was in school, and I loved it. I love every single dish. I have tried every single dish in Bengali Market, both sides.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. And for Chinese, our favorite restaurants, unfortunately have shut down both in Delhi and Bombay.
Okay.
So we're still in the process of discovering our new favorite restaurants.
Okay. Have you discovered street food better in Mumbai, or it's good to have in New Delhi? The street food. Delhi.
Yeah.
It's different. Like Mumbai people says now it's Mumbai, and Delhi people says it's Delhi. Yeah.
I don't think Mumbai people say street food in Bombay is better than Delhi. I think even Mumbai people know very well that street food is great in Delhi, and in Mumbai street food is kind of limited in your choices. It's nice, but it's limited. Delhi, you have all kinds of street food.
Delhi is all about food, I think. Yeah.
It's all about, just all kinds of street food.
Go to Old Delhi Market. It's
Bilkul. And those are the best places to eat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the authentic
Pavement
street food, let's
places.
say. Yeah. Cool.
Best.
That's the end of the podcast. Thank you, Charu, for giving your time. It was
Thank
lovely
you.
meeting you and lovely interacting with you.
Same here.
Great.